people into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
On the point of order.
Honorable They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought a very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
From the line across the ocean to the land.
Welcome back. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has written to the House of Representatives seeking repeal of the Students' Loan Act 2023 and enactment of the Students' Loan Bill 2024.
To Nigerians for higher
The President, in a letter read by the Speaker of the House, Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, during plenary explained that the request for repeal of the Student Loan Act 2023 is to address some challenges within the earlier act and to enhance the implementation of the Students' Loan Scheme by his administration.
Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 14th March 2024.
The first bill received overwhelming support from lawmakers who were unanimous that the student loan scheme will assist indigent students when operational.
I think this bill is welcome. It has come at the right time when Nigerians need a pat on the back for their patience, for their understanding, for their tolerance of the difficulties that we are facing. But this will open the educational system to more children, children of the poor. They will have access to loans. In my days at the University of Ife, some got their loans and bought Kawasaki 250. It was then sold for less than 100,000 naira. But they were able to pay their fees.
And so I will urge us, without going into the details, the bill as represented has taken care of the issues of process of application. It has taken care of the issues of what is expected of applicants to place before the government, and in fact repayment and sustainability procedures, which were absent in the initial bill.
I see it as one of those that seeks to balance the gap in education for the rich and the poor. I see it also as one of those gender-inclusive bills which will take away the burdens from resource-poor families. I see this as a relief for most struggling mothers.
Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has urged the Senate President Godswill Akpabio to recall Senator Abdul Nengi, who was suspended for 3 months over his allegation of budget padding. This is coming after Nengi, the lawmaker representing Bauchi Central, was suspended for 3 months over allegations that the National Assembly padded the 2024 28.7 trillion naira budget as against 25 trillion naira. The statement, as signed by SERAP Deputy Director Kolewole Oluwadari, the group urged Akpabio to immediately reinstate whistleblower Abdul Nengi, who was recently suspended from the Senate over his allegation that the lawmakers padded the 2024 budget by irregularly inserting projects worth 3.7 trillion naira. SERAP equally told the Senate President to refer the allegation to country's to the country's anti-graft agencies, including Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Crimes Commission, which will improve public trust in Senate, and urged Babio to make a public commitment to discontinue the pertinent unlawful constituency projects in the next budget cycle. The organization expressed its concern about the capacity and lack of accountability in the spending of public funds on constituency projects since the return of democracy in 1999. Business news. Number of functional oil drilling rigs across the country has increased marginal to 16 in February, and data from the latest March 2024 monthly oil market report of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries has shown. Following the figures released by OPEC indicates that the country's oil rigs increased from 15 in January to 16 in February, and the development which industry operators describe as significant for the production of crude. OPEC data also showed that the country operated an average of 13, 16 and 14 oil rigs in the second, third and fourth quarters of 2023 respectively, and the oil rig platform is a large structure with facilities to extract and process petroleum and natural gas that lie in rock formations beneath the seabed. The International Oil Cartel says Nigeria oil rig count was lowest in 2021 when only an average of 7 rigs was functional, and rose to an average of 10 rigs in 2022 and increased to an average of 14 rigs in 2023. The Chief Executive Council Officer of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, Benga Komolafe, in a presentation obtained in Abuja, stated that the country's oil drilling rigs has increased from over 270% in the last 3 years, and has also impacted the country's oil output lately as Nigeria was gradually approaching the oil production quota approved by OPEC. 17 out of the existing 24 deposit money banks may not meet the Central Bank of Nigeria's capital requirements if it increases from its current 25 billion naira. This is coming after CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso had in several forums said the Apex Bank would consider an increase in the minimum capital base of banks in the country as part of its efforts to strengthen their capacity to support Nigerians' drive to become a $1 trillion economy in 2026. He said that the current capacity base is stratified based on the type of banking license. Banks with regional, national, and international licenses are currently expected to maintain a minimum capital base of 10 billion naira, 25 billion naira, and 50 billion naira respectively. While the proposed increase in the capital base is coming nearly 2 decades after the CBN 2024 banking reform, which led to an increase of the then prevailing capital base from 2 billion naira to 25 billion naira. The 2024 banking reform was characterized by massive mergers and acquisition activities, which ultimately resulted in the reduction of the number of banks in the country from 89 to 25 banks. Meanwhile, the Chief Executive Officer of the Center for Promotion of Private Enterprise, Dr. Moda Yusuf, has welcomed the move to increase banks' capital base, adding that the current capital base was grossly inadequate. While a professor of capital markets at the Nasarawa State University, Uche Uwaleke, urged the CBN not to coerce banks into increasing their capital base as was the case during the last recapitalization drive. Rather, they should be incentivized. You're still watching the news on Atlantic Television Network. Up next, international tidbits. Niger's junta has ended a military agreement which allowed U.S. personnel to be deployed in the country. This is coming after Saturday's announcement came in the week that the delegation from Washington had been in Niamey for talks with the country's military leadership, while the U.S. used its base in Niger to monitor regional jihadist activity. Niger's military spokesperson, Colonel Amadou Abdourahmane, said in a damning statement, alleged that the U.S. delegation had accused Niger of making a secret deal to supply uranium to Iran. Colonel Abdourahmane described the accusation as cynical and reminiscent of the Second Iraq War, and suggested that the U.S. had raised objections about the allies that Niger has chosen. In 2016, the U.S. began investing around $100 million in a drone base in the central city of Gadez, 750 kilometers northeast of the Niamey. It was used for surveillance and targeting of Islamic State and Al-Qaeda-linked militants operating in the wider Sahel region. Jihadist activities in the Sahel has created instability in a number of countries, which as well as Niger has also led to coups in two of its neighboring states, Mali and Burkina Faso. The three countries have now formed a military alliance, while the army in Niger overthrew the elected president, Mohamed Bazoum, last July, citing the worsening security situation. Heavy fighting has erupted in the Sudanese city of Bahri between the army and the paramilitary Rapid Support Force. Bahri, also known as Khartoum North, is one of the three adjoining cities that make up the capital area, and the army said it has repelled a major attack by the RSF on a military base. The fighting came days after the army recaptured the headquarters of the state broadcaster, while the army has reportedly gained ground in recent weeks, taking control of most of the city of Amudam, which is just across the Nile from Khartoum. This is coming after the United Nations appealed to the warring side to allow delivery of humanitarian relief to avert what is called a catastrophic hunger crisis. Russia's defense military says its forces have destroyed dozens of drones in several regions across the country, including Moscow. This is coming after the biggest attack happened in the southern Russian region of Krasnodar, where an oil refinery was targeted, and the attacks come as Russia holds a general election in which President Vladimir Putin is guaranteed to win. In Ukraine, following an overnight barrage of Russian drones and missiles on the port city of Odessa, the Ukrainian governor of the northeastern city of Krasvik said 15 settlements had been shielded by Russia over the past 24 hours. Russian authorities said 17 drones had been launched against an oil refinery and had been neutralized, but one sparked a fire as it fell, and no deaths were reported as a result of the fire, which had been extinguished, while one person is thought to have died of a heart attack during the strike. And it is the 16th oil refinery attack in Russia over the past week. Meanwhile, Moscow Mayor Sergei Sobyanin said the 5 drones were downed in different areas while flying toward the capital early on Sunday. State of emergency have been declared in southern Iceland after another volcanic eruption of the Riskis Peninsula, and it is the 4th since December. Lava has reached the eastern defenses around the small evacuated town of Grindavik, while the powerful and fast lava flows began, with the authorities say that they have since diminished significantly. The director of Iceland Civic Defense, Verde Risnun, said all that could be done to prepare for the flow of lava had been done, and the biggest concern was the impact of infrastructure. Footage of explosions showed clouds of smoke and glowing magma oozing and bubbling from the vents in the earth. Here now is ATN Sports. Nigeria will face Uganda in the semi-finals of the women's event at the African Games 2023. This is coming after Falconers finished top of Group B with 6 points, while Uganda, on the other hand, finished second in Group B with 5 points from 3 games. The Falconers have scored 6 goals in the competition without conceding, and the encounter will be held at the Accra Sports Stadium, and host Ghana will face Senegal in the other semi-finals the same day. Former Aimba shortstopper Fatah Udauda has been appointed goalkeepers coach of the Ghanaian national team. Dauda's appointment is announced on the official website of the Ghana Football Association, and he is part of the new Black Stars coaching crew. Former midfielder Otto Addo will serve as a new head coach, while Joseph Loudman and John Penstill will be his assistants. Dauda spent 3 seasons with Aimba, winning the Nigerian Premier Football League title with the Aba Giants in 2019, and was capped 26 times by Ghana. Chelsea has booked a place in the FA Cup semi-final stage. The Blues defeated Championship side Leicester City 4-2 in a quarter-final tie at Stamford Bridge, and Makorela, Cole Palmer, Kani Chukwuemeka, and Noni Madueke all scored for Mauricio Pochettino's side. The victory means Chelsea have now joined Manchester City, Coventry City in semi-final, while the winner between Liverpool and Manchester United in the other FA Cup quarter-final tie later today will complete the 4 teams in the last 4. And now entertainment news. Nigeria's singer Burna Boy, in his poor outing at award ceremonies, has lost 6 nominations at the 2024 NAACP Image Awards. The self-acclaimed African giant lost the Outstanding Male Artist of the Year category to Usher. His song City Boys lost the going for the Outstanding International Songs to his compatriot Thames, Me and You. This is coming after Burna Boy lost 7 nominations at the 2023 BET Hip Hop Awards, 4 nominations at the 2024 Grammys, and 1 nomination at the 2024 Brits Awards. Meanwhile, Sensational by Chris Brown featuring Davido and Lojay, which already won the Best Duo Group Collaboration on night 1 of the 55th Image Awards, won the Outstanding Visual Album Song Award on the second night. Record producer Samuel Ogwachuba, popularly known as Sam Clef, has forgiven singer Davido for disrespecting him. This is coming after Davido slammed the producer turned blogger after he shared a clip of Davido and his wife Choma with their twins leaving a hospital in Atlanta, USA last year. His reaction did not sit down well with Sam Clef, who has been trolling him on social media since then. However, the veteran announced via X on Saturday that he has forgiven Davido, stressing that he believes that he has learned his lessons. Grammy-nominated Nigerian singer Aya Star says American star Chris Brown has been very supportive to African artists. Aya Star, who is billed to join Chris Brown as a special guest on his 11/11 tour of the United States and Canada, said she was elated when she found out about it during. He also said he was always been supporting the culture and it is really beautiful to see. Popular rapper and actor Tobechukwu Ejiofor, aka Liblis, says he is well-rounded, unlike most of his colleagues in the Nigerian music industry. He said he was an accomplished banker before making the switch to music, adding that he has always been his desire to own assets. He said he was dealing with upstream, downstream, and clients from drilling companies, construction companies, but wants to be able to own things and create magic out of entertainment properties. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at our major stories. Rivers State Governor Fubara orders dissolution of task force. Tinubu speaks on massacre of army officers in Delta. Serap advises Ababio to recall Ningi immediately. OPEC says Nigerians oil drilling rigs rise to 16. Niger Republic junta revokes military agreement with U.S. Falconers battle Uganda for final sports African Games 2023. Burna Boy loses 6 awards in 2024 NAACCP Awards. I am Wendy Aguma. Thank you for watching and good evening.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentary.